Hi everyone, it's Kimberly and welcome back to the Illumined Guru. And for those of you who were following me all the way through this journey and you're part of the Twin Flame family, that is still under the Illumined Guru umbrella. But if you haven't liked our new Facebook page, please take a moment to do so. So it's facebook.com/the Illumined Guru. I'm making all the new posts on the new page. Everything else has been a seamless transition. The website URL, and now we have a new Instagram as well. So please take a moment to do that. I really appreciate that. And I wanted to post a video, whether you're newly joining me or you've been with me for a while. For those of you who are newcomers, thank you so much for subscribing. And again, my name is Kimberly, and I am a soul coach and intuitive advisor. I have been basing the majority of my YouTube work and my private practice work with Twin Flames. However, I've recently broadened it to work with anybody along the ascension journey. I want to talk about the concept of subscribing to the twin flame phenomenon versus practicing your ascension. So I find that early on working with twin flames, we have a tendency to subscribe to this phenomenon. And it's something that does change throughout time as you really begin to surrender, as you really get on your mission, as you really begin your self-work. Your enlightenment work and your ascension work is not about the other person. Your twin flame, your soul mate, or your spiritual catalyst, however you want to refer to this being in this soul connection, is sparking the greatest awakening of your journey. That's why you've stumbled upon my channel. That's why you're reading, looking to other readers and healers. And I wanted to talk about the difference between subscribing and practicing. So when we early on subscribe to the phenomenon, I find that twin flames tend to look around, whether it's YouTube, or they're looking for information to validate the connection, to validate the theory and their subscription to it, and to buy in. And so when I say buy in, I'm talking about, it's kind of the early concept of holding on, right? Of like, you're looking for reasons to hold on. You're aligning with different readers and healers so that you can hold on to the 3D dynamic. And this whole journey is not about holding on. It's about actually letting go and focusing on self so that the connection can heal. And I think early on, the tendency, like I said, tends to be to subscribe to the phenomenon and then start finding evidence for why this validates your connection, and also that you're looking for hope, you're looking for reasons to wait, you're looking for reasons to hold on. So as you begin to progress along your journey, I typically see my clients and my students and my followers, they take a turn, and it starts to begin to become about a wanting to surrender. And that can be for a multitude of reasons. That can be because you're basically sick of the cyclical nature, you're sick of and tired of the cyclical nature of the dynamic, and you're wanting to change that or elevate it. You're feeling caught or stuck. You're feeling energetically blocked. You're feeling out of your power. You're feeling challenged, hurt, or like I said, in a cycle with your twin flame in the dynamic, whether it's a runner chaser or any other cycle. And I think at this point, it becomes less about subscribing to the phenomenon and more about practicing your ascension. And that's when that division occurs, and when we progress to the next, let's just say the next rung in the journey as you're climbing the ladder. And so at that point, I think that the things that you start to align with, and the teachers and the healers and the information, are not about breeding hope into union, are not about validating the connection, because you've already validated it for yourself. Now you're in a new layer where you're not looking to subscribe, okay, whether you subscribe or not, this connection is. So you don't have to label it or subscribe to it. I feel like when we subscribe, quite often we're going to unsubscribe at some point. So you're better off not subscribing at all. But if we can change our mindset to that next level of the journey, which is process, practice, and the process and the practice is from within. That's when we begin to align with teachers and healers that may not even be speaking about twin flames. They may be speaking about the patterns that you've been victim of, so whether that's victimization or narcissistic abuse or emotional abuse, trauma healing. It may be inspirational teachers or gurus. It could be, listening to segments or finding teachers that are talking about oneness and healing your inner child, which I do a lot of that work as well. And this is when it becomes about you. And this is when you, like I said, stop subscribing, you start practicing. You're practicing your ascension rather than subscribing to the twin flame concept. And I want you to know that twin flames, that your connection still exists. It's a shift in perception and it's a shift in focus. And I have to remind you, especially if you're new and stumbling upon the journey, if you're looking around for hope, if you're looking around for reasons to hold on and latch on, you can expect that as you evolve and progress, you're going to want to find reasons to surrender. You're going to want to find reasons to stop listening. You're going to unsubscribe from those healers that are talking about union all the time and all of that. And you're going to move on to the next phase of this, which is you. Because this journey, the ascension journey, is about you. It's about healing your past wounds and inner traumas, so that you can begin to live a very full and joyful life, so that you can break free of the patterns that have held you back or kept you stuck in those cycles, whether with your twin flame or anyone else in your life. And quite often, this whole journey brings up our relationships, in terms of our familial relationships, our friendships. Our whole life starts to change and unearth. And as we elevate in our vibration and in our thinking, and as we do this inner work and inner healing, we begin to, through the law of attraction, pull in those that align with our new school of thinking, our new way of being. And our twin flame very well may not align with that if he or she is not awakening at the same rate as you, which usually he or she isn't. Also, I have to comment on, in our society, we are taught that being spiritual looks a certain way. So it may be that if you, are eating high vibrational foods and you're going to yoga class and you're wearing the yoga pants, or you're doing your daily affirmation cards or whatever, that makes you a spiritual being, but it doesn't. These can all be aspects of your practice and things that you really enjoy, and I'm not knocking any of those things because I do all of them, but that does not make you a spiritual being. You could do none of those things and still be very spiritual and still be working on your ascension journey. Your ascension is based on healing from the inside out. How it shows outwardly, or what you do, or what you like, or what you subscribe to, whether it's yoga class or daily affirmations, that doesn't matter as much. Now, if those things are part of your healing, if those things are part of your regimen, if those things are part of what you love to do and they're organically you, that's great. But if they're things that you're doing because that's what a spiritual person does, there's probably a couple of layers deeper that you can go in your healing, especially in terms of, this is about healing our inner child wounds. This is about balancing our inner polarities, our masculine and feminine polarities from within. We had a great call last night in the Honoring Your Sacred Feminine workshop. Lots of sharing, lots of great discussion, and it's prompted me to, I'm going to be putting together a guidebook for, or like a handbook for how to harness your sacred feminine power. And I'll probably have that ready over the next month or so. By the holidays, I'll have it ready by Christmas time. So look out for that, because it's going to be an important tool for you along this journey. Because it's like part one is kind of getting out of the illusion that it's about the other person, or that it's about the other person doing their work, or the other person awakening. And that is really about us doing our work and us awakening and us healing at a deeper level. And when you can lift that pressure off of the dynamic, just trust in the overall connection, no matter what you label it or how you identify with it, and start to practice your ascension. This is a big shift, because practicing your ascension is trying on your sacred feminine or divine feminine qualities. If you've been operating from an inauthentic place or a false masculine place, it's trying on those new qualities, integrating them into your daily life. If you've been doing things that look spiritual, but not going deeper in your healing, this may be the time to do that. To work with a coach, to go to a workshop, to take a class, to go sit with a counselor and work at a deeper level. Many people ask me, how does your soul coaching work? And, people say, I really would have to budget for this investment. Like, how does this work? Why would I want to do this? And the soul coaching is truly you guiding your own healing experience. And I'm there to sort of hold your hand and give you the tools along that journey. And what we can accomplish in 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions can change your life, really. I use intuitive guidance so that I can cut right. It's not like when you go to a psychologist or a traditional counselor, you have to start at the beginning, the day that you were born, and then you have to tell the whole story and talk about everything. What happens is, because I work intuitively, I can kind of cut right under the surface. I can feel what's going on energetically, and I can kind of cut into the core wounds, the core problems. So we hone right in on them. And then I assist you in doing your inner child work and identifying these memories and working through them. And then we quickly segue out of that. We don't wallow there. We don't stay in the pain of it. We recognize it. We bring it to light. We become aware of it. And then it's about gaining the tools to balance your inner polarity, to harness your power, to become more joyful, to get reconnected with your authentic self, because it is by doing those two things that the change occurs. So people say, well, you're telling me if I heal but I've done my inner child work, or you're telling me if I heal my inner child, I'm going to be happy, or I'm going to clear these blocks. And it's like, it's an integrative method. It's an integrative process. And so many times you think you've healed it because you know the area where the core wound might be, but many times we graze over it and we haven't really identified it. And also, it's about, there may be several core wounds there. There may be patterns that are repeating that we're not seeing, or that we've had our blinders on to. I can assist you in clearing those blocks and in taking off the blinders and help you kind of see it more clearly. That creates the aha moments, that creates the awareness, and then we can start to cycle into a more joyful phase. That becomes about claiming your power, doing the things you love, reconnecting with yourself, shifting your behavior so that you're no longer giving your power away. You're putting yourself first, and you're aligning with your integrity and your regality and your majesty. And this creates a ripple effect in your life, and who is going to align with you in your life, and the quality of your relationships, and also how well you manifest, because that is all related to standing in your power. And so in the soul coaching, we work on all of those things. And so in just a few sessions, you can make very rapid progress. It depends, if you're ready for it. If I find that if you're ready to invest the time, you're ready to make the investment, you're probably ready. Okay, you're ready to do the work. And you know, I can always tell when someone comes to me and asks about it because I feel their readiness. But for those of you that are just starting out in the journey and you're looking for people to just validate the dynamic, like the 3D dynamic, remember, it's not really what this is about. And you'll find that as you navigate. And some of you, just by watching this video, are going to go, I have kind of been doing that. I have been kind of just latching on to the things that give me hope or the things that validate what I want to hear. But I have to ask you, are you only looking for the things that you want to hear? Or are you seeing the things that are going to actually create the ripple effect, that are actually going to create the change? And are you focusing on the attachment to the other person? Are you focused on the obsession to the other person? Are you focused on subscribing to the concept? Or are you focusing on yourself? Are you practicing your ascension tools? Are you practicing your inner healing? Are you practicing your awakening? Are you doing what a spiritual person looks like they should do? Or are you really digging in at a deeper level? Ask yourself all of those things, because you'll be able to gauge where you're at in this journey and assist yourself in getting to the next level. And I hope that's helpful for you. I felt moved to send this message out there. If it helps even just a few of you, that makes me very happy. Some of you won't resonate with it. It's going to create confusion. Maybe you're just not there yet. But I think for a lot of us, especially a lot of my clients have said, I've struggled with where I identify, what I call this, and, you know, what this connection is. And I think it's less important what we call it and more important how we practice it. And it's about self. So self-love and self-focus and healing, and that creates the ripple effect. So I will leave you with that for now, and I will see you again soon for the Twin Flame Weekly Reading, and I'll have another soul coaching video series post coming up soon. So see you soon. Take care. Bye.